Rain poured down like the sky was crying with him. Under the flickering neon sign of a closed diner, a thin boy sat curled in his torn hoodie, holding something wrapped in a damp blanket. It wasn't food, it wasn't clothes, it was a dog, shivering, bleeding, and barely breathing. The boy's name was Ethan, 16 years old, homeless, no family, no warm bed waiting anywhere. He had only $10 left in his pocket, the last piece of paper standing between him and hunger. But when he saw that dog lying by the dumpster an hour ago, hit by a car and left to die, something inside him wouldn't let him walk away. He ran through the cold streets, knocking on every vet clinic door, begging for help. Most turned him away. One nurse looked at his clothes, at his dirty hands, and said, "Kid, you can't even take care of yourself." He didn't argue. He just placed the crumpled $10 bill on the counter and whispered, "Then take care of him instead." Before we begin, don't forget to hit like, repost, or share, and subscribe. And I'm really curious, where are you watching from? Drop your country in the comments. I love seeing how far our stories travel. Back to the story. The nurse stared at the money, then at the boy. Maybe it was his trembling voice or the tears he was trying so hard to hide, but something softened in her eyes. She said, "All right, let's see what we can do." Hours passed. The rain didn't stop. Ethan waited outside the clinic, soaked and shaking, too scared to leave, too broke to buy food. When the nurse finally stepped out, she smiled faintly.
He's gonna make it.
Ethan dropped his head, relief flooding through his chest. He didn't even care that he had nothing left, because at least one life would get a second chance tonight. When she asked for his name and number, he laughed softly. "I don't have one, but tell the dog his name's Lucky." For the next few days, Ethan slept behind the clinic dumpster just to make sure Lucky was okay. The staff noticed him every morning, wet, hungry, and still smiling whenever he heard the dog bark from inside. The nurse started bringing him coffee, then sandwiches. Then one evening, she told him, "The doctor wants to see you." Inside, the vet, Dr. Marshall, looked serious but kind. "Son, we looked for the dog's owner. No one came forward. But the truth is, Lucky seems to only calm down when you're near." Ethan blinked. "Me?" "Yes, and we'd like you to help us take care of him." From that day on, Ethan came in daily, cleaning cages, feeding animals, learning slowly. He didn't expect pay. Just seeing Lucky wag his tail again was enough. But soon, the clinic staff realized how dedicated he was. Dr. Marshall offered him a part-time job. "It's not much," he said, "but it's honest work. You've got a good heart, kid. Let's make sure it doesn't go to waste." Weeks passed. Ethan got a small room behind the clinic, new clothes, and a steady routine. Lucky followed him everywhere, limping a little, but happier than ever. One night, as Ethan sat outside with Lucky resting his head on his lap, he whispered, "You saved me too, didn't you?" Months later, a local reporter doing a story on rescued animals came across Ethan's story, the homeless teen who gave his last $10 to save a dog. The story went viral overnight. Donations poured in. Strangers from across the country sent letters, food, even job offers. A few weeks later, Dr. Marshall surprised Ethan again. He handed him a letter. It was from an animal care foundation. They were offering Ethan a full scholarship to study veterinary science. The boy who once had nothing, no home, no money, no hope, was now on his way to becoming a vet. Standing in front of the clinic with tears in his eyes, Ethan hugged Lucky tightly and whispered, I thought I saved you that night, but really, you were sent to save me." The next morning, he walked into class wearing a clean uniform, carrying his old dog tag around his neck. The tag read, "Lucky." And for the first time in years, Ethan smiled, not because life was easy, but because it finally had meaning. Because sometimes, the smallest act of kindness, the last $10 in your pocket, can return to you as the greatest gift of all, a reason to live again. This story touched millions of hearts. If it touched yours, let us know with a like, comment, amazing story, and subscribe or follow for more amazing stories like this.